The British government has suspended aid to Rwanda and says it will limit engagement with the country's government. It's also threatening to coordinate with allies on potential sanctions against the East African nation. It also won't promote trade and has suspended the British Army from training Rwandan soldiers. The Rwandan government says it's calling these measures punitive and regrettable. Now, this is a dramatic turn in relations. Remember, only a few years ago, the UK government struck a flagship deal with Rwanda to deport asylum seekers. So, why has it come to this? For the past 30 years, Rwanda has been one of the key African allies of the UK and other leading Western nations. It began in 1994 when 800,000 members of the minority Tutsi community in Rwanda were killed by Hutu extremists in what would later be internationally recognized as a genocide. 2 million people were displaced, with 1.2 million refugees ending up in neighboring Congo. Now, after the genocide, the UK provided significant aid, military and strategic support to the country, with various British and American leaders visiting the country over the years. Then, 3 years ago, Boris Johnson unveiled a plan to send certain asylum seekers from the UK to Rwanda and declared it one of the safest countries in the world. The Rwanda scheme was then cancelled by Sir Keir Starmer when he took office, which was the first step in the fraying of relations. Ever since then, the Labour government has been applying more pressure on Rwanda, especially in light of its controversial involvement in the conflict in neighbouring Congo. Now, earlier this month, a rebel group known as M23, which the UN says is armed and financed by Rwanda, took over key cities in the east of Congo. The offensive has killed thousands and sparked a humanitarian crisis and fears of a wider war in the region. The Foreign Office claims Rwanda is supporting M23, which Rwanda denies, and has called for the withdrawal of all Rwandan defense forces from the Congolese territory. There have been growing protests in the Congolese capital, Kinshasa, with people angry that Western nations have not been more firm with Rwanda. But last week, the UK government summoned Rwanda's top diplomat in London to voice its concerns. The Foreign Secretary, David Lammy, has been in the region this week, visiting the Democratic Republic of Congo's President Felix Tshisekedi and Rwanda's President Paul Kagame. And the US has followed Britain's lead and imposed its own sanctions on Rwanda. But the relationship is a two-way street, because Rwanda has actually made significant investments in the West, in travel, hospitality and sport, being a major backer of Arsenal, Bayern Munich and PSG and American basketball clubs. Now, these deals are now coming under scrutiny. But Rwanda shows no sign of backing down, and the reason for that is the eastern part of the Congo is one of the richest parts of the world in critical minerals, and that is one of the key factors driving this conflict.